In today's video, I am going to give you 3 ways that you can recognize confrontation. Welcome. Let's get started. If you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you're returning to this channel, welcome back. My name is Justin, and I am a certified yoga instructor and a master communicator. And this channel is about meshing all of that together where we can create strength and we can create freedom and really start to grow into some peace, some power. And so on this channel, I really like to explore topics that take yoga practice, maybe the physical practice, off the mat into real world situations, because maybe like me or like you have suffered in your life with struggles with other people. And so I'm here and the community is here to support that. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 3 ways that you could recognize if you are dealing with confrontation of any kind. The first thing we need to recognize and we need to understand is, what is confrontation? We need to know the definition of confrontation. And by the way, if you like videos like this and you would like to support this channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It's the best way to support this channel and this community, and you keep getting notified when there's great new content coming out. Please leave all your comments below, because someone could be reading them and it will help them, and it also helps people to not feel like they're alone, right? So let's talk about the definition. I'm going to read to you what the definition is from the Oxford English Language Dictionary. And the definition of confrontation is this: a hostile or argumentative meeting or situation between opposing parties. Now, this is the first of a 5-part series on confrontation. We're just going to explore right now what confrontation is and what are the 3 ways that you could recognize a confrontation is happening. The first way you could tell confrontation is happening, or maybe it's a brewing, is body language. There's a few ways to take a look at what you notice about maybe someone else or another group of people that may change in body language. The first is eye contact. If you notice people are not looking at you when they're speaking, they're looking up, they're looking down, they're looking away. Body language, eye contact in body language is changing. If someone's always looking at you directly in the eyes when they're speaking to you, generally they're just speaking from exactly what they're thinking and what words they're processing through, and they're just speaking them out to you using eye contact. If you notice eyes start to go up or to the right or to the left, it's usually a sign that people are thinking. Sometimes that's better than saying a lot, right? Facial expression is another one. So generally, if you're used to someone smiling all the time and you see their beautiful smile, or maybe their eyes light up, or possibly they're not frowning, or they have their brows kind of starting to crunch, the eyes start to crunch in. If you notice facial expressions are tight, rigid, rough when you're around someone, that's a sign that there could be confrontation coming up, or there's something going on with the other person. And finally, arms being crossed. This is a sign of being closed. If your arms are crossed, generally most people, when their hearts and chests are open, they're more open to speaking or receiving things. But when arms begin to cross, that's a signal that confrontation's happening. So if you're going about your day and you notice no eye contact, you notice facial expressions starting to get scrunched, rough, rigid, maybe the arms are scrunched, confrontation could be happening. Second, maybe if it's non-verbal, maybe it really is verbal, the words someone uses may change. Comments may change. One of those would be passive-aggressive comments. I'm going to link, I have a whole video on passive-aggressiveness. I'll link it below. And with passive-aggressiveness, people are speaking, but they're going around the bush, right? They're not directly speaking, not using direct eye contact. It's these phrases that they're trying to communicate something to you, and it's not direct conversation. If passive-aggressive conversation starts to happen, confrontation could be coming. You may notice emotionally charged words coming out of someone else's mouth. And I want to stop right here and preface this by saying this. If you are going to be an effective communicator, someone who's going around and we are trying to bring more happiness, bring more love, bring more peace to each other, when we use emotionally charged language, the difference between your brain, when we have the emotional side of our brain, which is the right side of our brain, and we have the logic side of our brain. And when we communicate only from the emotional side of the brain, conflict starts to happen. Confrontation starts to happen because we're not speaking from logic. We're speaking from all these emotions that are charged. If that's happening, confrontation could be coming, or maybe you may need to do the confronting, right? And finally, another one is complaining. So complaining for me is it's like a no-no. You know, you hear the word, you know, when we were in grade school, we're like, don't eat your boogers, it's a no-no, or saying those words are no-nos. Complaining is a no-no for me. I personally cannot stand complaining. Complaining serves no purpose at all. So when we're talking about emotionally charged words, that's where complaining comes from. And I am one to take what you say at face value. So if you're speaking something to me and you have something else behind that you're not communicating, I don't know what that is because I cannot read your mind. So if you have something to say, and I've said this in videos before, say it. Otherwise, there could be a confrontation coming because you're using emotionally charged words and then starting to complain about your job, about your responsibilities, about your health, about your children, about your parents, about whatever. That's another sign. Third signal of confrontation, lack of trust. Do you know anybody in your life that you used to trust and now you don't? Do you know anyone who speaks a certain way and then acts completely different? I do. I absolutely do. In my everyday life, I see this. Do you see that? I see people who stand and speak words and then act a completely different way. I see people who act one way with one person and a completely different way with another. When we're talking about lack of trust, when you see inconsistencies with behavior patterns, you begin to lose trust. It would be as though maybe you caught your partner cheating on you. The trust might be gone. Here comes confrontation, right? If you've lost trust and there's lying, there's misrepresentation, there's anxiety that's coming out of all of these things, confrontation is going to happen. It's going to come from them or it might come from you. And how does yoga fit into all this? And I say this in every video, but how does yoga fit into this? Well, we practice nonviolence through yoga. So in upcoming videos, we are going to explore, is it really worth confronting every time something's going on? Every time you notice body language changes? Every time you notice words changing? Every time you notice lack of trust? Does that mean we automatically should confront someone, or does that mean they should confront, or it's coming, they're going to confront us? These are things we're going to explore in this 5-part series. This was just the first video, and I cannot wait to hear if you've noticed something going on. Please leave a comment. Did you notice something going on with somebody else that you think this is a confrontation that's coming? I notice it, or I'm going to have to do something. I think I need to confront this person. I don't trust them anymore. They're being passive aggressive with me, or they're looking around. They don't speak clearly to me. They don't look at me when I'm talking to them. And it's hard because we all have emotions and those emotions bubble up. We can use non-violence through yoga, non-violence, to get through any situation that requires more loving, understanding, and appropriate communication. I can't wait for the next video coming up, part 2. We are going to discuss what if you have to confront someone. Should you not? And if you do, what are some ways that we can do that by practicing non-violence? Can't wait to share that with you. Like, subscribe, and thank you for your support. We will see you on the next video. Namaste.